Hey, what is good, my good people? You know what time it is. You know where you is. You know what this is. It is that time again. Oh, yes. The I Am the Possible podcast experience, the place where we aspire to inspire the innovation of your identity. I am your host, Travail C.W. Lynch, Mr. What, and I am your self-worth specialist. Once again, guys, welcome into the I Am the Possible universe. Thank you guys so much for rocking with me once again, joining me here once again. Guys, your life is so precious. I just thank God for you, man. I celebrate you, each and every one of you. Thank you for your faithfulness to this podcast. Thank you for showing up each and every week for yourself and for those around you. For you know how we do it, right? As you improve upon yourself, you are improving upon those around you. As you are increasing, enlarging, evolving, elevating, right? Then you are doing the same for those that are around you, because others are being impacted, others are being influenced, others are being blessed by your very presence. So thank God for you. Guys, let's jump into this. Let's do what we do. Oh, yes. Got to start off with an idea. And I always want to know your thoughts about these ideas. What do you think? Drop me a comment below. Leave a comment, a message, your feedback. That was the word I was looking for. Your feedback to this idea. Comparison is the death of joy. What do you think about that? My man Mark Twain said that comparison, it is the death of joy, right? And I would assume he's relating to the death of your joy, right? Our joy. Okay. So what do you think about that? Is that true? Can you relate? Right? Does that hit home for you? Right? Does that resonate with you? Let me know below. Let me know what you think. And as always, right, that is the setup for today's topic, which is, because we're talking about comparisons today, guys. Talking about comparisons. Oh, yes. Why comparing yourself to others will kill your self-confidence. Why comparing yourself to others will kill your self-confidence. Are you at a point in your life where you lack self-confidence? And as an additional question, have you found yourself comparing yourself to other people? Have you found yourself being more concerned with what other people are doing and how they're doing it than what you are doing and maybe what God has called and created you to do? Are you watching others live their lives and you have envy for them, jealousy, or perhaps you just want to be like them? There's qualities and characteristics that they have, and you really want to do what they do and how they do it, right? And you long to look like them or be like them or sound like them or act like them or just have those same qualities, right? And it's chipping away, it's choking out your self-confidence. Well, if that's you, then today's episode is for you guys. All right. We want to talk about why comparing yourself to others will kill your self-confidence. And I want to give you some insight, as we always do, and some information that will help to build your self-confidence, right? So let's jump into this. All right, guys, what is the mission? Here is the mission: to share ideas, information, and individuals that will inspire you to think of yourself in a way that makes the life you want possible. That's our mission. That's why we're here. That's what we do up in her. All right, guys, let's make our confession. You know how we do it each and every week. We use the authority and the power of our tongue. Proverbs 18, life and death is in the authority of the mouth, of the tongue. And so, guys, let's make our confessions. Repeat after me. I'm about to learn something that will transform the way I think about myself and help make the life I want possible. Woo-hoo. I just love saying it, man. Oh my goodness. That's a great confession. That's a great confession. It sets you up. Here it is. Disclaimer alert. Disclaimer alert. Yes, guys, we have a disclaimer in the building. The ideas expressed on this podcast, they serve only as a component of a much more complex puzzle called the human behavior. So, just want to let you know that this is just a piece of the puzzle, man. This is not the end all do all, but it is some pretty amazing information that I am about to throw down. And it will definitely help you, motivate you, inspire you, edify you, build you up. But please, you may be at a position, a place, a stage, a season in your life where you require professional help. And all due respect to our mental health workers, and make sure that if these episodes aren't getting you to that, that place of total healing and deliverance that you need, make sure that you get the help that you need. Okay, we play a part, but we are not the whole part, right? Like I like to say, we are a slice, but we are not the pie. But it's a good slice. Oh yeah, this podcast is a good slice. All right, guys, let's jump into this. Again, today's idea: why comparing yourself to others will kill your self-confidence. And you know what? If you ever wonder, why do we say today's idea? Ideas at the right time can change your life. The right idea at the right time can totally change your life, right? Whether it's an aha moment, whether it's an epiphany, whether it's a revelation, whether it's a nugget, a jewel, right? We give it all types of names. But the idea is an idea, a spark of genius, a spark, right? In the imagination can totally turn things around. And so hopefully, prayerfully, this message is going to reach those who are comparing themselves to other people and not feeling very confident in themselves because they are doing so. So hopefully this is going to land in the lap or in the earphones or headphones. Wouldn't do you much good in your lap, right? In the headphones of the right people. All right, guys, I want to break this down. I am a teacher by heart and I love to educate. So today we're going to do a little more education than maybe I've done in the past couple of episodes. I want to break this thing down for you, right? We're talking about self-confidence, right? And how comparing yourself will kill that confidence. Well, we got to know what confidence is. So very first thing is confidence. What is confidence? Root word, right? Because when you go do definitions, right, there are always a million definitions for any given word, right? Because it's all in context. I like to look at the origin of a word and then how it's applicable to the current context. So when we are talking about confidence at the end of the day, it is trust by root. It is trust, okay? And so when we talk about having self-confidence, think of it as self-trust. When you compare yourself to other people, you don't have a lot of self-trust. Now think about when you trust someone or something. When you trust someone or something, you call them in your own mind dependable, reliable, trustworthy, worthy of my respect, worthy of my dependency, right? That's another big one. You can depend on someone if you trust them. You're comfortable with someone if you trust them. You share things with people that you trust. You're very open with people that you trust. You spend time with people that you trust. You get the picture? So put it in the context of yourself. Are you depending in a healthy way on yourself? Can you count on yourself? Do you like spending time with yourself, right? Because to have self-confidence means to have self-trust. And you don't learn to trust yourself when you're always comparing yourself to someone else. And we are going to get into why. You ready? Here we go. I'm excited about this one because I get to teach, baby. You know how I do. I get to teach. All right. So what does it mean to compare? At the root, it means to try and like or equate. Aha. Right? For all of my Coming to America fans. Accra. See, this is it. When you compare, you're trying to measure, you're trying to evaluate. Really, what you're trying to do is, and I don't know if people really get this or not, but when you compare, you're looking at two things in contrast, but you're trying to see, how can I hook them up? How can I compare them to, like, through the comparison, how can I equate them? And so many times, guys, well, not even many times, all the time, when you compare yourself to someone else, and obviously they're not you, right? I mean, they're another human. So there's these overarching categories of, we all are human beings, and we're all the creation of God, the children of God. We're all, so there's certain similarities, obviously, right? But then we drill it down to certain qualities or characteristics that we really admire, that we really esteem, that we really are attracted to, that we're really convinced is amazing that this other person has, or this ability or this skill, right? This gift that they possess. And we're homing in on that, and we're trying to equate ourselves. How can I measure up? How can I be worthy? How can I feel as great as I perceive them feeling about themselves? Well, they have long hair and they seem to be happy. My hair is short. Maybe if I get my hair long and I can equal them, then maybe I'll be happy too. Or, oh, that person can sing and I kind of got a voice, but if I, go to singing school and I really start to sing well, I mean, they seem happy. So if they're singing and people are applauding them and they're getting all this praise, then maybe I can go and sing too. And so you're trying to compare, you're trying to equate yourself, you're trying to line up, you're trying to feel the way you perceive them feeling by somehow maybe doing what they're doing. This rabbit hole goes deep. I don't have enough time in this episode to break it all down. But I really want you to really spend some time thinking about what it means to compare yourself. You never win when you come, and this is not a news flash. This is not breaking news. You already know that you're not winning when you compare. You already know it. You already feel it. It's not working because you'll never equate. Your value is equal in and of, your existence, meaning you are a equal creation of God. So there are no favorites, right? God creates us all equal as humans, humanity, creation of God, image of God, idea of God. You're already valuable. You're already significant. You're already worthy just because you are. You don't have to earn that, right? Worth, as I like to say, worth is not something that you have to earn. It's something that you simply have to learn. You have to learn about your worth. That's why here we talk about self-discovery, right? The greatest form of self-development is self-discovery. You have to discover what you already are, what you already got, what you already built with, right? You don't have to go and earn it. You just got to learn it, right? And so many times we're comparing and we're trying to equate. We're trying to be like, so that we can get a feeling going on, so that we can have an existence, or we can have an experience of what we perceive this person's life to be like. If it wasn't attractive, we wouldn't go after it. Think about this. You don't compare yourself to people that you don't find attractive. You don't compare yourself to people that don't hold qualities that you admire, right? That don't hold qualities that you admire. Like, for example, I'm in the speaking game. I'm in the communication game, right? I don't compare myself to baseball players. There's no temptation for me to compare myself to a baseball player. Not at all. Have no interest, right? They don't possess any quality that I want in general, right? Based on their profession. But as a communicator, absolutely, I look to, listen to, learn from other podcasters. And there are certain podcasters that I really love their flow. Like their setup is amazing, their lighting is amazing, their intro is amazing, the way they flow on the camera, the way they speak, their cadence, the way they break it down, they're so comfortable. And I want to imitate and mimic, and I want to be like, right? All that. I go through the same stuff, man. Speakers on stages, man, this brother comes out from the back like this. He says this when he hits the stage. He looks like this, right? Preachers, right? Oh man, this person knows how to flow with God and knows how to flow in and out of the moment. And right. So it's not that I'm oblivious to it. It's not that I'm not tempted by it. I go through it like anybody else does. Whatever, when someone possesses the qualities that you admire, there's always going to be the temptation to compare. However, if you compare and don't just learn from them, admire, a healthy admiration is good. A healthy respect for another person's skill set is good, right? I was just talking to my boys last night about Kobe Bryant, right? His work ethic, you can admire that, right? But if you start to compare yourself to it, then you never win because you'll never match. You'll never match it. You'll never measure up. You can do what he does, but you'll never feel the way you perceive him feeling because you're not him. He's doing it for a whole nother reason. His motives is different. And that's the one thing that we don't talk about. We cannot match motives. You see, their motive is they truly want to do blank or be blank or achieve blank. And we don't really know what that is because we're not in the minds of other people. You know how we say, I'm not a mind reader. We're not. So you can't match their motive. You're trying to mimic their movements, but those movements are driven by a motive that's internal, and you don't have any insight into that internal motive. You see, you're trying to mimic the movement, and you can, but you cannot match the motive. Aha, akra. And that's why it never works. That's why comparisons kill your self-confidence. Because he's shooting 1,000 free throws with a motive that you can't tap into. So you can go out and shoot 1,000 free throws, but you'll never experience what he's experiencing because your motive was all wrong from the jump. So now your confidence, not only are you damaging your self-confidence, but you're lowering it. You're just destroying it. You're not even giving it a chance because you're trying to be like someone else or something else rather than giving that precious energy to building up and cultivating what God has created you for, your gifts, your talents. My young boy said the other day, he said, man, we were watching something. And this is no dig on him, okay? And I'm not going to even say my boy's name, right? But he said, I wish I could sing like that, or I wish I could, sing. And I'm sure he was innocent by it. Probably didn't mean much at all. But it caught my ear, right? Because I'm super sensitive to this stuff, right? Because I'm all about love you, love you, embrace you, accept you, right? So it's high on my sensitivity scale, right? When I hear stuff like that come from my kids, because we were watching I think it was an NBA game or something like that, right? And the person came out and they sung a song, and my son said, I wish I could sing. Now I look at my son, and he's full of gifts, talents, skill sets, abilities, right? That God's given him to do what he does. And the first thing that flew out of my mouth was, son, love what you do. He can't do what you do, right? Maybe you can't do what he does, but he can't do what you do, right? That's just the father knee-jerk reaction, right? Trying to defend my son, right? But my point is this, we're spending so much time trying to mimic someone else or do what someone else does that we don't give enough of that precious energy, that juice, man, that God's given us to work on our skill sets and be the very best that we can be. And so as long as we're chasing someone else's competence, then our confidence can never be cultivated. Does that make sense? I'll say that again. As long as we are chasing someone else's competence, then our confidence can never be cultivated. And you were created to cultivate your area of competence so that you could experience self-confidence. Does that make sense? All right, guys, let's jump into this. Check this out. Check this out. I'm so excited about sharing this. Check this out, guys. Booyah. We are creative beings. The word creative, having the quality of something created rather than imitated. Imaginative. We were created to be imaginative, to use our imagination, to create, to bring to be, to bring into existence, to manifest those dreams and visions and hopes that God has instilled and has invested in your life. You were created for that, to bring those things that which is within you out of you, so that the world could enjoy it. You are a creative being. And when you try and mimic someone else's thing and you try to imitate someone else's thing, guess what you're doing? You're choking out your creativity, and your self-confidence is being killed because you're no longer being creative. You're becoming a copy. Copies don't lead to confidence. Creativity does. You were created to be creative and to express yourself through this creativity. And so your self-confidence is connected to your ability to be creative. I'll slow it down. Your self-confidence is connected to your ability to be creative. And you are creative. It's your nature. But you neglect the creativity and the unique creativity that you possess and were purposed to produce in the world when you spend all of your energy and time trying to mimic or imitate or copy someone else's thing, man. That's what happens. So now you have no confidence in you because you're so concerned with them. Does that make sense? This is how it kills your self-confidence. You're supposed to be creative. You're supposed to bring to life what's within you. You're supposed to bring to life the life that's within you. And that's why it kills your self-confidence. So check this out, guys. Check this out. And just to give you the heads up, my wife is getting ready for work. So if you hear any background noise, hey, charge it to the game. But just keep flowing with me. All right, check this out, guys. just want to give you that heads up. I'm laid back in this thing, man. Listen, I'm human. You're human. Let's be human. Yes, I definitely want to be professional and all of that. But hey, man, life happens. So anyway, let's continue here. I want to share something from my book, and I'm going to do a share screen this time because if I share it, let's see if I only share it. Yeah, here we go. Think I can share the screen. If you're watching on the tube. Booyah. Let's see. See if that works. Can you guys see that? Cool. There it is. All right. Comparisons are never really about what others have, but about what you believe you don't. Let me start over. Let me say that again. Comparisons are never really about what others have, but about what you believe you don't. Comparisons are rooted in our insecurities, and you feel dissatisfied because you think you'll never, remember, match up to others. Remember, comparison is equating, not because they are so great, but because you feel so small. You're so convinced of your lack that others automatically appear to have or be more. This is usually the result of, a lot of comparing. Maybe this isn't like the initial onset result of comparing, but this is where it starts to get you. You become very insecure in yourself. You become very dissatisfied with yourself because now it's like, yo, I was admiring what they were doing, and then that admiration turned into comparisons. And now I'm like obsessed about what they're doing. And now I'm totally rejecting and neglecting my own gifts and talents. And now I'm just dissatisfied because now it's not even about what they do great, but it's about me just lacking I just don't have anything. And it becomes a lack thing for you now. At first, maybe you played basketball and you looked at someone else playing basketball and you said, okay, I'm going to really admire what they're doing. And then you started comparing yourself to what they do. And you got so entrenched, right, in what they're doing that now you don't even play basketball no more because you're so convinced that they play so much better than why should you even try? Like you'll never get on that level. And it starts to deflate and it starts to discourage instead of encourage and inspire. That's where it goes. And now your self-confidence is killed. You don't even go out and take the shots no more, right? You don't even go out and take the shots no more because now it's killing your confidence. You don't even try anymore. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? All right, guys. Yep. I hope and pray that this is making sense, guys. Hope and pray that this is making sense. Time to wrap it up, guys. Time to wrap it up. I want to share with you before I ask for your support. I want you to consider these things that I shared today. Go back, listen to them, rewind, back it up and rewind. Always showing my age with them old school rap verses. But consider what I've shared. Consider these definitions. Go back, listen to it again. On certain parts, I spoke really fast. Go back, think about these things. Are you comparing yourself to others? Where are you not allowing your creative juices and ideas to flow? What part of you are you neglecting because you're caught up in others? Consider who you compare yourself to. And maybe consciously decide, you know what, they've got some great qualities and I'm going to admire them, but I'm not going to obsess. I'm going to admire them, but I'm not going to compare myself to them. Just because you look up to other people don't mean that you have to look down on yourself, right? Looking up to others doesn't have to mean looking down on yourself. It doesn't. You can have a healthy admiration and respect for other people's skill sets and their lifestyles and totally do you and love and embrace you. Those two things can coexist. And so again, this is about awareness and about these conversations. I did a little bit more teaching today, but again, I just want to have these conversations, and I hope and pray that through this conversation, you've received some ideas, some insight, right? Some inspiration. And hopefully you're making some choices, some decisions. Maybe this helps you to search your heart and consider where you've been comparing yourself. And, the fact that God wants you to have confidence in you. God wants your very best life to shine. He wants your light to shine, right? Just as much as you are in woo and awe of what someone else is doing or how they're living, God wants you to be on the stage. God wants your light to shine. God wants your gifts to be utilized where you inspire other people, where they can ooh and ah you, right? So even think about that. I mean, think about the fact of how the more you ooh and ah someone else, you never get to ooh and ah, or others never get to ooh and ah you, right? And you have something to offer. You have something to bring and share with the world that the world needs. Life inspires life, and we need to be inspired by your life. So consider these things, guys. And I just trust that through this conversation, you got what you needed. Yep. All right, guys, I want to ask you to support a brother. Number one, tell somebody. If this has touched and impacted and influenced and inspired you, that it will do the same for someone else. So tell somebody, share this podcast. Let someone else know that it is available. Let them know that there is a source of information that will help them to feel amazing about themselves. Yes, it is possible. Secondly, leave me a comment, info at iamthepossible.com, info at iamthepossible.com. I would love to hear your feedback, suggestions for future episodes, any questions or concerns about the information that I shared today. Also, right there, YouTube, drop them comments below. Let me know what you think. If you agree, disagree, or are indifferent, just want to let me know where you stand. I would greatly appreciate it. YouTube, man, I am the possible, lowercase, one word, no space. Type it in, I am the possible. Go over to YouTube, hit that bell, join that notification nation so that you get every single episode of the I Am the Possible podcast experience, and you don't miss any of the amazing organic content that I upload each and every week to help you stay on fire for your future. So much dope stuff that's popping up each and every week. Don't want you to miss out on that. And then lastly, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, Google, iHeart, wherever you are listening, whatever platform you prefer, make sure that you subscribe and download each and every week. Leave a review, comments. This helps a brother to rank. And we want to get this information out to the world. So by more exposure and expansion, we can do that. So your help is needed. Help a brother out. All right. All right, guys, that's it. Another one in the book. So amazing to spend and to share this moment with you. Until next time, guys, I love you. I'm praying for you. I am believing in you. Now, as we always do, go out today, not tomorrow, today, and find a way. That's right. To be why it's possible. Peace.